Last Sunday, I opened my Instagram to check one notification. 43 minutes later, I was still scrolling. I couldn't tell you a single thing I watched. And that's when I realized something terrifying. It wasn't because I loved the content, but because my brain had already decided before I even noticed that boredom should lead to escape. And that's the real villain, not Instagram. The default, the autopilot trap. The biggest lie scrolling tells you is that you're only losing a few minutes. You're not. You're losing the person those minutes could have helped you become. The scariest thing about scrolling isn't losing an hour, it's losing a weekend. Then I discovered something. The people who reduced their screen time didn't rely on discipline or motivation. Which confused me, because if discipline wasn't the answer, why did every productivity video keep talking about discipline? That's when I discovered the real problem. Here's a question. What did you watch 3 nights ago? Most people can't answer, yet they spend 3 hours consuming it. That's the real cost of scrolling. You're trading memories for content you won't even remember tomorrow. Look, if you're okay being an infinite scroller who wakes up one day and realizes they've spent more time watching people live than actually living, then I've got nothing more to say. But if you want to stop being someone who gets hijacked, reclaim 10 plus hours a week without having to delete a single app, pay close attention. And if there's a specific topic you want me to cover next, let me know in the comments. You see, most conventional approaches often fail because the real problem isn't social media. The solution is to simply break that default. You can do this just by making few invisible changes to how you use your phone. Here's how. First, stop trying to quit scrolling. Instead, pre-decide. This sounds backward. Most people wake up and say, I'm going to stop scrolling. But that goal is too vague. Instead, focus on one thing. Say, I'm going to decide in advance when scrolling is allowed. For example, it could be after work, during lunch, or 30 minutes before bed. The goal is not zero scrolling. The goal is intentional scrolling. Then protect the three danger zones, which are 30 minutes after waking up, after school or work, while in bed. Second, create friction. Most scrolling is automatic. Make it slightly harder. For example, you can log out of apps every day. Move social apps off the home screen. Turn off notifications. Use grayscale mode. Keep the phone across the room while studying or working. The goal is not to rely on willpower. It is to interrupt the reflex. Third, replace the behavior. This is critical. You can't remove scrolling without replacing it. You need one thing to fill that space. So pick one builder habit. It could be gym, reading, guitar, drawing, writing. Not 5 things, one thing. And use the 10-minute rule when urge hits. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Work on the thing you've been avoiding. After 10 minutes, you can scroll if you still want to. Most of the time, momentum takes over. Fourth, track starts, not hours. Most people obsess over screen time, but that's a wrong metric. Instead, track how many times did I open social media today? Why? Because the first click causes most of the damage. If you can reduce 50 opens per day to 20 opens per day, your behavior changes dramatically. Fifth, focus on becoming the person you trust. This is the identity shift. Don't ask, how do I stop scrolling? Ask, how do I become someone I can trust? Because every time you say, I'll study for 20 minutes, and then you actually study for 20 minutes, you win. Not because of the studying, but because you proved to yourself that your words meant something. The problem was never really your phone. The real battle was over your attention. So don't try to fix your whole life tonight. Instead, win the next decision, then the one after that. Because your life was never built by the big moments. It was built by the tiny ones. The moment you felt bored, the moment you reached for your phone, the moment you decided what deserves your attention. Because whatever gets your attention gets your life.